Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the horror movie podcast where we make each other watch films the other guy hasn't seen, and then review them.
Each episode will have spoiler-free reviews, followed by no-holds-barred spoiler-full breakdowns. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about some scary movies. Welcome back to Horrors Yet Unseen, you big lug.
You big lug. Yeah.
Hi, Zach.
Hi, Steve.
We are here to discuss movies of the scary variety, theoretically.
That is an astute observation.
Thank you for that compliment. I am needy at times, so. How's it been?
Well, it's been fine.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. How has your life been?
I'm angry about tipping culture. But we already talked about that.
Technically, yes.
In the show before the show.
In the pre-show, yes.
Yeah.
Invite only pre-show.
But I'll be okay. I mean, no.
Yep. There is exclusive access to the pre-show if you would like to join. It's $7,500, and you can Venmo me, and we will give you access to the pre-show.
Absolutely,
which is just me and Steve whining about various things,
mostly old man things.
And
back in my day,
that it's basically that. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there is no pre-show, so if you send me $7,500, you're not getting it back.
Okay. It totally is a pre-show.
Oh, definitely. There's a pre-show and an after show. There's an after party, people.
If you want to join us live, we can send you the link, but
yeah,
it does require payment. So
yep. Patreon.com/
Now we have Patreon.
I don't know.
Wait. No, we don't want to do that because then people are going to expect something from us.
Oh, sorry. How about GoFundMe.com/
See, the key to happiness is making sure nobody has any expectations of you, and you have no expectations of anybody else.
That is an impossible task. Everybody has expectations of everyone else all the time.
The Buddha did it. The source of pain in the world is desire.
Listen.
The wrong podcast, right? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not going to say any of the thoughts that were rolling in my head. They are not appropriate. Okay, so okay. Well, we'll save them for the after party. We'll save them for the after show. Yeah. Okay. So, Steve, you want to get into?
Wolfman.
Yeah, you did see Wolfman.
So Wolfman. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, Wolfman.
I saw Wolfman yesterday, and I have some thoughts briefly. May I share them?
Yes, Steve, you may share your thoughts.
That's why we're here, right?
Yes.
Wolfman. Wolfman is a movie that just came out. It has some people starring in it, and there's a storyline and like cinematography and stuff.
Wow,
yeah,
that's like the first of its kind.
I mean, it's groundbreaking, really. Zach, is what it is.
Very new age of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's Christopher Abbott, who starred in one of my favorites, The Possessor movie.
Yeah,
he was good in that.
I saw that.
Julia Garner was in it. She is probably most well known for her role in Ozark TV show.
I have not seen that.
That is a good show, dude. Good show. And then there's a bunch of other people who I've never heard of in my life.
Okay.
They're fun. Acting was good. Storyline. So, okay, let's cut to the chase.
Here we go.
It is according to our rubric of names for rating levels, it's a movie.
That's like a 2.0, isn't it?
It's a 2.0. It's a movie. I have not seen a lot of werewolf stuff because for some reason the werewolf subgenre does not really grab me a lot. It doesn't really, I don't know. It's like dude turns into an animal, whatever. The best movie in that direction is Lady Hawk. I'm going to say it again. You didn't like it. I mean, you watched it and you did not give it enough of a chance, but I mean,
that's because
the world-class soundtrack aside.
No, it's not even remotely. It's not even. Okay.
But it's not real wolf. She actually turns into an actual wolf. Like wolf. No, he does. I'm sorry. She turns into obviously the hawk, the Lady Hawk.
Yeah,
right.
The lady.
Right.
The freaking title of the movie.
The freaking title of the movie. Yeah. But in this one, it's some of it is well done. The thing that kind of kept throwing me off is the freaking sound design in this.
Okay.
It's like they paid the person per decibel or something. It's just loudness the whole time.
Yeah. Well, that's how a movie that doesn't have any substance scares you.
Well, it wasn't like jump scare, like a, like all the violins at once, like to scare you.
Yeah.
It was just like loudness all the time. And stuff that was like, it's like they're in the dark forest and there's like something in the distance making a sound. It's not making a sound. It's making like this boom, boom, boom sound. And it's so annoying.
Are you sure you went to the right theater? Did your theater just have a volume problem?
No, it did not. I can tell, but it's because like the talking bits and stuff were fine, but the anytime they had like an atmospheric kind of a scene, the atmosphere was kind of ruined by the loudness of everything. And not just the loudness, but the incessant sound that didn't really need to be there. It was really bizarre. I don't understand it.
Okay.
But the acting was fantastic. And slight spoiler, it's really a sad movie, honestly.
Okay.
If I was not so distracted by the sound in the end, it's almost a tearjerker. But
how is it a sad movie? I will tell you this. I don't care if you spoil this movie for me.
Okay.
Zero parts of me care.
Well, it's kind of like the typical. In some ways, it's a typical werewolf movie.
Okay.
There's a werewolf. Dude gets scratched or bitten or whatever.
Right.
Turns into a werewolf. Whatever. Then things happen.
Yeah.
In this one, it starts when he's a young kid. It's like he and his dad live off the grid, sort of in the mountains of Oregon.
Okay.
And there's like this, there's like rumors of this, beast, like a disease that you can get in the forest that will make you look like a man. And like the people, there's like an Ojibwe word for whatever. So they try to pull that in there, like make it like some ancient thing. And it turns out that in this one, it's a sickness that you get. It's not like the supernatural thing where you can only be killed by silver bullets or whatever. It's like you get a disease that makes you like turn into this thing that looks kind of like a wolf. And he grows up and he comes back because his dad dies, and his dad's just a total jerk. But his dad dies, and so he comes back to like pack up the house and sell it. And he brings his wife and his daughter with him. She's like 6 or maybe 7 or 8. And they crash the car, the truck, and they get attacked by a werewolf, and he gets scratched. That part's
in the trailer, yeah.
Right. He gets scratched and slowly becomes a werewolf, which is not like a lot of stuff I've seen. It's like it's kind of fast change. His change was like slow, and it wasn't really tied to the moon. It was just like I said, it was just a disease. And as he slowly turns into the werewolf, like they're barricaded inside the house, keeping the other werewolf out. But then he started becoming one himself. And they have the thing that bugged me is they had this whole thing where there's the house, and like down the hill, there's a greenhouse, and beyond that, there's a barn. And they just keep running back and forth between the house and the greenhouse and the barn and the house and the greenhouse, the barn. And somehow avoiding the actual werewolf. And then he gets strong enough to fight the other werewolf, and he kills the other werewolf. Turns out it's his dad. And says his dad got scratched at some point in the forest. But he dies at the end. And there's like this really good. They actually did a really good job of like this parallel between him and his dad as a kid, like in this deer stand, and his wife and his daughter in the end of the movie, and she has to like he's like begs her sort of to like kill me now sort of thing because I can't stop this from happening to me. So she shoots him in the chest with a gun right in front of her daughter, and he slowly dies after he's already chewed his leg off. It's the whole thing, and he dies, and the daughter's all crying and everything, and they go and stand at this great like vista that he and his dad stood at and viewed at the beginning of the movie. And it, like I said, it would have been like more of a tearjerker if at the end of the movie the orchestration wasn't so freaking loud that it like ruined everything. All I could think of is, why is this getting so loud? And they just kept cutting back and forth between the daughter and the mom, daughter and the mom, daughter and the mom, daughter and the mom, looking sad. So maybe I've had too much caffeine, Zach. I don't know.
I don't
I'm very
know
passionate about this movie.
Yeah. Here's the thing, is what you described to me, like, okay. These types of genres have been very clearly defined.
Yep.
And so the werewolf genre is to redefine these things. Like everyone knows that the moon has something, the full moon has something to do with you turning into a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
So to be like, oh no, it doesn't now. What? Like,
Right.
what, that's not, like, sometimes it's better if you don't have a good idea to just not do anything at all. You know what I mean?
I do appreciate trying to take a new look at like a new angle on stuff.
I understand. I just think the vibe that I get from this particular thing, and I think the vibe that you also get from this thing, as you rated it a 2 out of 5, is this is a big swing and a miss. It's not the worst swing and a miss, but if I were going to have a problem with a movie that I haven't seen, based on your description, okay, so let's clarify that, is it's too much redefining.
No,
like we're going to turn it into a disease. If we're going to turn it into a disease, then what is the point of another werewolf scratching you? Why not have the moon trigger this disease that is inside of you? Or how did the disease get inside? We're talking about genetics now. Like,
so it's a mystery, and so I don't have a problem with that. I'm not like a werewolf purist or something.
I'm not either.
Well, apparently you are.
Wow. I'm just now finding this out.
Yeah, no. Well, we're all on a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
But it did. I kind of liked the idea that it was kind of a different kind of a take on it. I felt like they were trying to make it more realistic. Like, this could possibly happen. Maybe there's a disease that makes you like grow fangs or whatever.
Also, the slow fact, like he grew over days, did it all happen in one night?
It was all one night, but it was kind of like slowly over the whole night.
Yeah, so by the time the sun's out, he's a freaking werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
And so he doesn't turn back into a normal human during.
He gets killed by that time, because it's like he's like maybe 85-90% turned by the time that he gets killed. He's just enough with it to kind of get across the point to them. He can't speak, but he can like try to get across the point to them that he wants to be killed.
How? Through some werewolf CGI look
he's
that
like,
he gives his wife?
He's like sitting, they stand in front of them on this deer stand, like a little bitty, like a little house looks like a little tree house sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's climbed up the thing, and he's kind of holding onto the edge, and he's looking at his daughter, and he's like trying to say something, and his daughter's like, he wants this to end, Mom. And he kind of like,
Okay.
well, they set this whole thing up the whole time about how he and his daughter have this special connection, and like
okay, some magical. Okay, got it. Okay.
No, not magical. It's just like
cool.
they
how
have
else? It's some telepathy kind of.
I mean, you could look at your wife and like nod. If she said, "Do you want me to kill you, Zach?" and you would nod.
Yeah, nodding is not some special relationship, though.
Well, but he was looking at her and like making like a face. It made sense in the movie. Just give it, let it happen.
Okay,
Mr. Moon.
Okay. I'm sorry for having a problem with the 2 out of 5 movie. I'm sorry. Also, I haven't seen it. It's fun crapping on
the things that it just never ceases to amaze me, Zach. The things that like you get hung up on.
I know I understand. I have to live with this. I imagine. Here's the thing: like you get what I tell you, but there's so much left on the cutting room floor. That's all that I have to deal with. Like it's sometimes maddening. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
how was the CGI of everything? Was there any?
There was no CGI.
Okay, that's okay. Now you've made me upset. All right. So now, no,
it was all makeup.
I'm not biting. Okay. No, it's not. There's no way that they did all of the makeup. He's not CGI at all.
No. If he was CGI at all, it was completely seamless. But even like the change, it was more like they cut away and did something, come back, he's like a little bit more wolf,
This was the very classic kind of. Okay.
Yeah, very, very, very slow, like I said. So it wasn't like he's laying there and he's like becoming a wolf, like in a American Werewolf in London or whatever.
Got it. Yeah.
It's, and like at one point, the Death Show has like the claws kind of coming out of his hands, like really slowly. But that was just very practical effects stuff. So that was nice.
Okay. All practical effects.
As far as I could tell.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when this movie comes to streaming, I will get drunk enough to watch it.
I think a weed gummy would be more called for.
Yeah, the problem is that makes me paranoid, and then like I'm gonna be paranoid that a werewolf's trying to break in the house. That might be fun. I don't know.
I mean,
who knows?
Yeah, but overall, it was very predictable. But it was. I put a like on it, even though it was 2 stars. I liked it. Was entertaining. I had a fun time watching it. But I probably won't watch it again.
Okay,
it is one of the better
the movie.
Movies.
Man,
I liked it enough. I mean, you can like a movie and know that it's a piece of crap.
Okay,
right?
I
mean, we're friends.
I mean, listen. I only like movies that are awesome. So I don't know what you're talking about.
If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So we should move on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 2 out of 5 is all right. That's decent.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
I do have a list on Letterboxd, like a private list on Letterboxd of werewolf movies I want to see. So I'll have to see more of those and compare and contrast.
Okay. Well,
whenever I have time to do that, which probably won't be anytime soon.
Definitely not.
We both saw the classic horror story this past week.
Yes.
That's on Shudder, right?
I watched it on Netflix.
That's right, Netflix. Thank you, Netflix.
Yeah. I don't know where you can watch it, but I'm almost positive it's a Netflix original.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my first take of this is not a very good, like, I want to travel to those locations movie. You know what I mean? Like in movies past that we've talked about, I'm like, yeah, this movie is brought to you by the tourist division of the government
of
this country, because like What was there was a under the skin
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
was brought to us
Scotland.
by the Scotland division of tourism, because the majority of the movie was just long shots of the Scottish countryside.
Right.
They're like, hey, look at this hill. Hey, look at
In the
that low
rain.
cobblestone. Hey, look over here at this building. Hey, here are some woods. Like what's happening?
So this didn't make you want to go to the backwoods of Italy?
This 100% did not make me want to go to the backwoods of Italy. Yeah.
Southern Italy, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Italy would be fun. I don't really want to. First things first, time out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cautionary tale right here. Don't get in an RV with a strange guy, okay? Who from the very beginning, I went, he's the murderer. From the moment that I laid eyes on this guy, I was like, this guy is the murderer. Also, we should probably pause for a second and say, there are some spoilers coming up for this movie. If you've not seen a classic horror story on Netflix,
skip to the next chapter.
Skip to the next chapter, because we're going to ruin this, because I've technically already ruined it a little bit. Yeah, this guy so he's like, yeah, I got this. I'm doing this vlog. No, you're not. You're a liar. Because I've been doing it for years. Well, you're terrible at it. Because you sound like an amateur the entire, there's no way that you're, our podcast is better, and we're amateurs. Our podcast is better than this guy. I don't know what the heck is, whatever this guy's stupid MO was. I don't even know. All I know is that I was confused as to how they got all roped into this trip together.
It was a rideshare thing. Now there are like services and stuff. It's like, if I've got a big car and I want to go someplace, people can sign up to go with me, and everybody will pay the gas together or whatever. It's like, and not an Uber thing, but like a carpool situation.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that this movie is a cautionary tale of what not to do. Don't do ride shares.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah, but the Uber carpool was cheaper. Get your own Uber. Make more money. Be a better person. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Just saying. I'm drawing definitive lines here. Because this is what happens. Watch this movie. This is what happens every time in every carpool.
Every time.
Every single time. And especially in southern Italy. In southern Italy. Yeah. So this... as I told you, Steve, I assigned this movie to you, or I wanted to assign this movie to you because it was on your watch list.
But I watched it.
But the problem is that you watched it. And so now I have to, I did finish it. The movie was, I don't even know what the heck I rated this stupid thing.
I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, I think I came in just underneath that, maybe at 4 or at 3.5.
I thought it was a solid horror movie. I mean, you have to read it, but that's okay.
3 stars. Yeah.
3 stars.
It wasn't bad. I thought the Act 1 and Act 2 were really good.
Okay.
It's a I'm still very curious as to how they ended up off the road. So they crashed the car, right?
Right.
They wake up
all beer that will knock them out
in a field, yeah.
And he got the car moving back and backed it out and drove it to this random field someplace. Because he's the only one who didn't drink the beer.
Because he's the only one who didn't drink the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when they went walking and they looped around, it was he was the one who was leading them. So he purposely looped it around.
Yeah, I also thought this was a decent. I did not like the twist at the end. Not a fan.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
Okay, tell me what you liked about it.
I mean, it was a little bit not believable, but I mean, hey, it's a horror movie, right? There's a lot of that.
The cult thing was way more believable than I have a YouTube channel of murders.
Right. Yeah.
Because the news only
No.
shows murders, and this is clearly what you people want. Like, that's
Right. So
wild.
he was. I got the impression he was making a movie, and he was using actual people get killed, so it was easier than doing like special effects or something. He was just a psycho, and I don't know. It was like I said, super unbelievable. Everything leading up to that I thought was really well done. Great horror movie, lots of suspense. The guy on the table getting his feet destroyed and the eyeball thing and this. That was brutal, man.
Brutal.
It was brutal.
That was the most. I think out of all of this, that was Terrifier level brutality. It was.
But they didn't show it though, which I think made it worse. Made it grosser.
They showed them hitting his ankles and breaking off his.
That was brutal. Yes,
that was crazy.
They didn't show the eyes.
They didn't show the eyes, and I was very thankful for that. Like they showed it right. I mean, it was right there. The little spike was right there, and then they showed him cranking down on it, and the guy screaming. It was the guy screaming. It was on par. His screams reminded me of the kid getting killed in Doctor Sleep.
Oh, okay.
Like his screams were so real and
visceral.
It was visceral. And his screams were so believable that I had to keep telling myself, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. Yeah. It's just a movie. It's just
there's I know I assigned a movie to a while back, Apostle.
Yes.
And I understand why you didn't make it through the whole thing, but
yes, church trauma.
Near the end, they do the same thing, very similar thing to a kid, but they saw a hole in his skull from the top. Just
oh my gosh, bro!
And it's the same kind of a feel. It's like the same visceral screaming, and
I will never finish that movie now.
Yeah,
I can't do that. That's rough. Too much. Yeah, that's what that guy's screams remind me of. So anyway, you were telling me what you liked about the twist at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was inventive. Like oh, it's all filming a movie, and like I said, obviously not believable. There's a lot of problems with it, but I thought it was interesting. The final end, when she's kind of walks into the water, it's like, what's going on here?
Yes,
I thought it was kind of symbolic. She's like trying to wash it all off or whatever. But I like that she got revenge. That was kind of cool. Got back at him, but
yeah, she blew his head off. Like that was crazy.
Right.
Actually,
shotgun
no.
Right to his face.
Yeah, I thought his head should. What movies was I watching that actually happened? Was that What You Wish For?
No, it was Get Away. The lady's head gets blown off.
That was crazy. Okay,
yeah.
that was comic. That was comical. Right. That was comical. How I just thought shotgun in the mouth should do more damage than just like your head. Kind of technically shouldn't be there anymore.
Right. They didn't show his head afterwards.
They showed him dying. So yeah, technically, yeah, it was crazy. I didn't understand the absolute very ending where she walks and then all of a sudden there's this freaking beach and she runs into some tubby kid.
Yeah, and
just a regular normal kid, no fat shame, and who has water wings on, who's walking in the woods for no freaking reason. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what
she's
that kid's
inside like a
is.
military area that's like people aren't supposed to go in, and the kid had gone through this hole in the fence just because he got out of his parents' sight and just was wandering around.
But then he goes back through the military zone, and it made me feel like she walked into some like military campus where all of these military families are. And
no. I didn't think that's what it was at all.
And
I thought like the whole cult thing takes place inside this military zone that has been abandoned.
Better. Yeah.
You know,
that's probably
and that's
true.
where they were. And she's like, now she's getting out, and whoa, it's right next to this whole beach. Because I don't know if you knew this, but Italy has a lot of beach. Lots of
Yeah.
lots of water line.
Thank
It's like
you.
a boot.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? It's a boot?
Check the map, buddy. It's awesome. It's a boot. It's kicking Sicily right in the butt.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was I had some qualms with it. Didn't feel like it kind of stuck. It felt like so they're going through all of this stuff, and it's slightly mafia related, but also
Right. They didn't do much with
very ancestral related, possibly. And I mean, the kid with the deformed face he's got some pipes. He can sing. That was pretty cool.
That was very Midsommar-ish, the whole situation.
Yes. And I didn't fully understand that part, which is why I say ancestral, because like there's a bunch of people in a bunch of overalls at the table eating spaghetti, and I'm like, time out. What's happening? I don't understand this. And then the lady gets in a police car and she goes away. And here was another thing that was totally unbelievable. You're gonna love this because I got caught up on a weird thing. Hands are nailed to this chair.
Mm-hmm. Ouch.
They wheel her from the table to the TV screens where she sees. Mm-hmm. This is all quote unquote fake, but not really fake, right?
It's all being filmed either way.
It's all being filmed. He then comes up and he's like, oh, surprise. And then all of a sudden, she has superhuman strength. The final girl, the spirit of the final girl,
right,
indwells her heart, and she is baptized with it. And she slowly but surely pulls her hands up off these nails.
Which is going to tear her hand up pretty bad.
And I went, your hands are useless at this point. Because it's cool, fine, whatever. You're sliding up the smooth part of the nail. That's going to hurt a lot, right? But it's not going to be as much pain as the head of the nail going through your skin, right? And practically speaking, she was still able. She just, I'm just going to take this dirty rag and just wrap up my hands, and everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, you were able to pull the trigger of a shotgun? You were able to carry a shotgun? Like, my hands would be spent. I'd have no.
She wrapped them up.
Okay. Well,
here's what I was thinking.
I didn't have the practicality of that. Bothered me.
So I'm going to give you a field trip.
Here we go. Here we go.
Head on down to the hospital.
All right.
Go to the obstetrics ward where they have birth in the babies.
Okay.
And ask one of the women if you can watch them give birth.
And
watch a woman give birth, and you will not be surprised by anything that lady did in that movie. I mean, holy crap, dude.
Okay.
Women can withstand a lot of crap, a lot of pain. More than me, for sure.
Okay.
So that,
we've reached a point in this conversation where Zach is
I am so good. I'm so good at justifications. I mean, church was good for something.
Wow, that is also triggering. And so let's
so sorry. Just joking around.
Of course, I know that.
All right, so
so anyway, we've talked enough about a classic horror story. Yeah. It's a good movie. I rated it a 3. Yeah. Steve rated it a 4. It's a decent movie.
Watch it. Yeah.
I have my own qualms with it, but who doesn't?
We wanted to briefly mention some movies that have come out since our last episode.
Yes.
Zach has gone to the great lengths of research and pounding the pavement and finding
door
out
knocking.
What exactly.
Yeah.
And we have I'm gonna go in reverse order so we can talk about the last one.
Right.
Dark Match is coming out on Shudder.
Yes.
Companion is coming out in the theater.
Correct.
Screamboat.
Screamboat.
Is it the mouse one?
Yeah, that's where
Mickey Mouse
David
one?
Howard Thornton plays
Oh, right,
Steamboat Willie in a horror movie.
right. And then Grafted is on Shudder. I saw that one. And then we have The Presence, which is out in theaters as we speak. And Zach went
Yes,
to see The Presence
I did
and
see
loved it.
I
Tell us
glowing
how much you loved it.
dude. 10 out of 10, no splash is all I got to say about this movie. Like, it definitely wasn't somebody who pooped in the pool and now we got to clean it up. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely, no.
What?
I made a pool reference, 10 out of 10, no splash. And then I made another pool reference about somebody pooping in the pool.
Oh, Caddyshack reference.
Geez, like, gotta draw you a picture and everything.
Is it a Baby Ruth or poop?
Well, that's for
Lots of
you
Baby
to,
Ruth in there. Everybody gets out of the pool. You don't have to worry
that's
about
for you to find out. Why don't you watch the movie
Taste test
Presents
only.
and then you find out whether it's a Baby Ruth, okay?
it. Okay.
You can watch the movie Presents. And then
What
let
was
me
your
know.
problem with it, Zach? No spoilers, please, because I would like to see the movie.
Okay, here we go.
If you can,
No
if you can do that.
No spoilers. Okay, this movie was garbage. That's all I got. That's all I can say. I'm just kidding. This movie takes a. This movie, what I liked about this movie does take a swing in the same type of emerging genre of POV of the bad guy or the bad entity, right?
Mhm.
Like one of the draws for people to watch In a Violent Nature was the fact that it was all shot from the vantage point of the killer.
Right, like from behind him. But was
technically,
this movie
it wasn't
like
it
from
wasn't
the eyes
POV.
of the ghost?
It was from the eyes of the ghost. Like technically, it's been described as you are the ghost.
Okay.
So this is which was perfectly fine. There is anyway, that's kind of it as far as
Like a ghost in a house haunting people.
Good quality. The ghost is there in the house the entire time. You mentioned to me that you have seen people talking about how they know who the ghost is.
Right. Because it's not clear in the movie, I guess, right?
I don't think that it is clear in the movie who the ghost is. They are trying to figure, nobody's really trying to figure that out.
Okay.
There is one character who is making assumptions based off of her experience, but it's clear that she's only making assumptions. And I say that it's an assumption, not a fact, because typically like that there is some bit of lore around ghosts in the sense where they stay in the place where they died until they've quote unquote finished their unfinished business and then they get to move on. So if that is the case, then her assumptions are wrong because the ghost is not the person that she thinks that it is. There are characters in this movie. There's one character specifically, and I said this in my review on our social accounts. There's one character specifically who I think is possibly one of the worst characters in cinema history. He's terrible.
That's saying a lot.
Like, it's an exaggeration, but like he's not from the moment, like he's not necessarily likable really at all. He's very manipulative. Also, everything that he says, I think I said in my review, it feels very much like a 30 or 40-year-old wondering what young kids say nowadays, and then just Googling it possibly and finding out all of the wrong things. And then that's the script. Like, that's what because what he says is every time he's talked, it's incredibly incoherent. He talks in these mind-bending riddles. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I thought it was nice. Weird. I thought it was nice that it was a little inventive in the POV shots. It was a bit jarring because I think that I was not entirely ready for the camera work. So there is some found footageness to the camera moving, that made me kind of look away for a little bit to just kind of recalibrate. So, other than that, and all of the things that I said in my spoiler-filled social media rant, if you liked this movie, I want to please reach out. Please reach out to us on our Instagram or our TikTok, because I want to have a conversation with you. And I mean this. I've only seen positive reviews of this movie.
Okay.
This movie did not stick the landing for me. And so much so that I actually called it the first smoking hot turd of 2025. This movie, it's not worth a half a star. This movie is not worth. Yeah. I don't think this movie. I think that it's good in the sense that it took a leap. Fine, but there are plot points that never get fleshed out. There's family drama that never gets fleshed out. You never according to what I saw, you never find out who the ghost is. There is no resolution as far as any of that kind of stuff is concerned. This 100% is not a horror movie. There's one scene that is quote unquote horrific, but the spoiler alert,
it's classed that way just because it has a ghost in it.
That's it. That's the only connection. That's the only connection. That would be like me calling every movie that ever has blood in it a horror movie. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, no. That'd be like me being like, well, Bambi is a horror movie because, spoiler alert, mom gets shot. It
kind of is, yeah.
Like, that'd be crazy. Nobody would ever call Bambi a horror movie. I mean, this movie is not a horror
killing
movie.
In the beginning, and it's got Thumper that you got to deal with.
Wow. Okay. Thumper's your main problem with Bambi?
I actually love Thumper. Sorry.
Yeah, because he's a freaking horn dog of a rabbit.
Whoa.
Disney got some subliminal stuff up in there, bro. That's all I'm saying.
It's a
That's
rabbit.
all I'm saying. Okay. We'll agree to disagree with that. So
I did not expect that today.
I know. Anyway, yeah. I'm very curious. I've listened to a lot of those positive reviews. I just did not. I don't know that we saw the same movie. Maybe we didn't see the same movie. I'm very curious about all of that stuff. So if you have positive things to say, and you can speak coherently, let me know. Don't message us and be like, "This movie is good." Like, don't be caveman about it. Anyway, I'll be done yakking about it. I wouldn't see Presence. Actually, I probably would see Presence again. I would see it again because now I'm slightly obsessed with how bad it is, and I very much want to figure it out because I don't understand. I need to go back and listen to some interviews and whatnot. But I still stand on the fact that it's not a horror movie, and some of the writing and dialogue is freaking first grade. Like, it's not good. But
if you want to know more, go to Instagram
Yeah, if you want to
Whereas
know
you
my
haven't seen
full
the pod.
thoughts about this movie while I was on my couch just having a good time recording myself, you can go watch that. And anyway, Steve, you should see this movie because I want to
I
know what
will.
your thoughts are about it.
I loved it. I haven't seen it yet. Sorry. Well, you are rather irked about trailers showing too much stuff. Would you like to enlighten us?
This podcast already feels very much like this is Zach's Irk Fest, and so maybe we should not talk about that because I don't know. I also don't know the answer to your question. I recently had a movie that was spoiled for me by the studio that I was already interested in seeing. I won't spoil it here because I want to save everybody else from what happened to me. So I just said I'm not going to spoil it for everybody else.
You're going to say the name of it?
Not even I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
But it's also technically already ruined. Okay, fine. We'll talk about it. I was in on seeing
the
movie.
The name. You don't have to say anything about it.
I was in on seeing the movie Sinners.
Okay.
From Jump. Okay. But I did not know that it was a vampire movie.
Now you don't want to see it?
And now that I know that it's a vampire movie, I wanted that spoiler in the theaters. I wanted that twist in the theaters. And so part of me wonders if, because the thought behind all of this, I guess, is it feels very much like some movies have to come out with more than one trailer for their movie. Mm-hmm. And I don't fully understand that because I was in and sold on this movie from trailer number 1. And then they just launched another trailer for this movie that revealed the vampire thing. And I'm like, why? I wonder why we need multiple trailers for a movie. I just don't understand
marketing.
I understand that it's marketing and that it's money and that blah 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 whatever. Like I'm saying that we need new definitions of what is successful because I think a lot of people were in on this movie because of the cast and because of the first trailer. But now, because it was revealed that this movie is a vampire movie, I just don't know where we go from here. What twist could you possibly pull off in the movie that would make it satisfying and that wouldn't make me feel like at the end of seeing the movie that all of the trailers ruined this movie, revealed too much of this movie?
Having not seen the movie, how do you know that? I mean, you're speaking as though the fact that it's a vampire movie was a super big secret in the film. Like, huge reveal at the end, it's vampires.
Yes. But that's the thing is like because it wasn't revealed in the first trailer.
Oh.
I thought, okay. Wasn't revealed in the first trailer.
I mean, I'm not going to give you crap about it. It's your fault, but for watching the second trailer when you're already going to see it based on the first trailer. But that aside,
wow.
I honestly, I've had all of the same problem. I watched the first trailer for Companion. I thought this looks amazing, and I saw the second trailer for Companion, and I'm like, give it away.
And that's why I haven't seen the second trailer for Companion.
Yeah, so I won't give anything away. So don't see it. But
it was the trailer that started out with, because I think that second trailer starts out with like, there were 2 great days in my life when I met this person and when I murdered this person, and I literally hit the pause button and went, "Shut up! I don't want this movie ruined."
It was Companion.
It was Companion.
I don't remember that.
The trailer that I watched that made me stop watching it was the fact that she said that in the trailer, and I'm like, I don't need to know that he dies. Now I want to freaking watch the daggum movie to make me upset.
That is not even the twist that they think that they revealed.
It's probably not the main twist, but it was enough of a reveal because I felt like because I didn't know it beforehand that. Mm-hmm. And I'm also starting with the preconceived notion that sometimes movie trailers give away movies, and I don't like that. So I just wanted to know, Like that's why I said I don't have any input. I just simply have kind of
Right.
complaints
And
about this.
where I was going with that was that I'm still going to see the movie. It looks really good. And if anybody else has seen the spoiler version of the trailer, still go see it, because I've seen other like reviews here and there that basically said, yeah, that trailer kind of spoiled this aspect of it, but there's so much more to the movie than that aspect of it. So
yeah,
which I would assume the same thing with the Sinners movie. And they probably have data that, like, if you tell the people what kind of movie it is, like it's a horror, like a vampire movie or a zombie movie or whatever, then people will go to it for that reason. Because some people just want to see all the vampire movies.
right. I get it.
Yeah, I know you do, but I'm really starting to think I need to like maybe not watch movies, not trailers at all. Like maybe the teaser, because that's usually 30 seconds long. It's like short enough that you don't really, it doesn't really give it away. But
yep,
yeah,
that's my takeaway from the whole thing, is because I have no way to control any of that stuff. I only have the ability to control myself. Thank you, therapy. I just feel like I'm in this time of my life where I just need the amuse-bouche. You know what I mean? Like, I just need a little appetizer.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I just need appetizer.
That's good.
That's a good one. That's all I need. I just need the teaser. If the teaser hooks me, then I need to be done with watching content around it, because I did that with Strange Darling. You know.
Yep.
I did that with Strange Darling, and that movie was like, I didn't know anything about it going in, and it was just simply better. And there's no way of me quantifying that. I don't have a time machine. Do you know what I mean? I don't have the ability to go and break myself off into two pieces like a freaking Kit Kat and be like, I'm not going to watch the trailer on here, and then I am going to watch the trailer over there, and then the two Zacks are going to meet and find out who had the better time. Like, there's no way to quantify it, but I think I'm just.
It's like the movie that I assigned you, that we're going to talk about in a second. I said don't watch any trailers or anything, and I think if you had watched a trailer, it would have spoiled some of the aspects of it. So
I need to watch a trailer now that I have seen this movie to see what aspects it would have given away. I don't think it would have made the movie better, but that's just me. Okay. That's neither here nor there. We'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay, so my buddy Tim saw a movie, The Substance, and then he sent me a review of this movie, and I told him that I would play on the podcast. So I'm going to play Tim's review of the movie Substance.
All right, so just finished The Substance. Wow. I don't think I was expecting it to be as cinematic, like having as much play with like shots and camera work and things like that. For context, I didn't really know anything going into this movie other than hearing some buzz about it and knowing about the plot. So, a little bit about the plot. And so I guess I was expecting it to be shot more like horror movies I'm used to versus, again, so cinematically. And I really loved this take on aging. It was very good at getting you in the mindset and empathizing with a woman aging. And I think it was interesting because it's like, obviously Demi Moore is still very attractive, but like a lot of her problems was with self-confidence. Like she was going to go out on a date with this guy and then chickened out because she's like, oh, I'm not as beautiful as the younger self I've created. But it's like, it's heartbreaking because it's like if you just do it for yourself and believe that you are still beautiful, and it's like the guy in the cafe said, like, realizing that you still have value, then you could find happiness and potentially happiness with that relationship. And so, yeah, I just loved how that was bringing me into that mindset and realizing how shitty we treat women in this world, in this country. And I think the only thing that I was uncertain about was the ending. Just went cuckoo bananas there at the end. And for me, I was like, this is a huge tone shift. We're no longer in kind of the semi-grounded reality that we have been in. And now we're just going apeshit. But like the effects were really cool. So it was still very entertaining, but I was just like, what in the hell is going on? But nonetheless, with the ending, I'm still trying to wrap my head around and being like, how do I feel about that? Nonetheless, I think the movie is amazing. It really made me think, and again, I was just so surprised and pleased with how it was shot. It was really, really cool. So that's my review in a nutshell.
There you go.
Thank you, Timothy.
Yes. Yeah. Tim's right. The ending of this movie is wild. And nothing can prepare you for it.
No.
It does 100% go off the rails, but in like a controlled, chaotic
and it makes
way.
sense in the movie too.
For
what it's trying to get across. Yeah.
It's full circle.
Right.
It's full circle is really what it is. So yeah. Anyway, that's and you too can be on the podcast if you would just send us something. Gosh darn it, every week. Go over this. Not every week. We don't ever talk about it. We don't ever talk about the fact that we have a phone number people can call.
That's at the end of the podcast.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yep. Well, Zach, with that, let us. I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I guess.
No, got 2 movies to go over that we assigned from last week.
Yeah.
So let's move on to that.
Let's dive in.
Take it away, Zach.
Okay. Steve, the movie that you assigned me is from a year that I don't know. 2023. Okay. I didn't write that down. Is it 2023? I'm not going to say this movie is a classic because I want to disrespect this movie as much as I possibly can.
Oh.
Okay.
Coming out of the gate.
I'm sorry. Okay. This movie is called What You Wish For. And let's be honest with ourselves. You get exactly what you wish for in this movie. If you wish for a good movie, you don't get that. Boom, roasted. Okay. This movie has an 80% Rotten Tomatoes incorrect score. And also a 78% popcorn meter for audience score that is also incorrect. This movie, again,
who's the incorrect one, Zach?
It's fun to just throw shade for no reason. Okay. 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 3.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Mm-hmm. The synopsis of this movie is as follows. A talented chef with gambling woes flees to a Latin American villa to visit an old friend who appears to be living an extraordinary life as a private chef. Envy soon turns to greed and then to something deeply unsettling for the chef. Or as he assumes his friend's life and discovers the motives of his mysterious clients. Okay. So, non-spoiler review. for this movie. I'm not too sure what to say as a non-spoiler for this movie. Because everything that I have in my head to say would spoil this movie. I didn't do a very good job of preparing this week.
What didn't you like about it?
Okay. See, this is the problem. Okay. I didn't like the fact that there were a lot of moments. There were too many moments in this movie where, okay, you know the look that you give somebody where you're like, I don't really want to say this out loud because I don't want to say it in front of this person who's standing right here. So can you just read my face and understand what I'm talking about? There was too much of that.
Okay.
There was just a lot of people like staring at each other unbelievably. Like they're in disbelief, or they're like, are you really going to make me say this? Or like, yeah, there was too much of that. And I'm like, say it. Just say say it. Also, I didn't like the ending of this movie. I didn't like the ending of this movie. I thought the movie did a good job of, like, the story wasn't necessarily bad. It's been done before. This type of genre has been done before, and I think I'm just a bit exhausted at it, which is probably why I didn't necessarily have a good time, and my brain more aimed towards picking it apart instead of enjoying it like 80% of the critics freaking did.
When we could get into spoilers, I'll explain why I assigned it to you.
Got it. I didn't necessarily think that the acting was top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably call this movie a modern B movie.
Okay. I
wouldn't call this movie a top shelf movie. I've seen a lot of the reviews for this movie, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this movie's fantastic. Cool. I don't know what character that was. That voice just kind of came out. But I felt very okay. I don't think that this movie was a horror movie. I could be wrong. Sure, it had some slightly horrific things in it. But
okay.
I don't know that this qualifies.
Did it need a ghost?
It didn't. It did not have a ghost. I mean,
did it need one?
Technically, I don't know that it didn't have one because they're ghosts. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time.
This is solidly
the guy.
a horror movie,
the people. Listen, the people held the cameras well.
Did the people do the talking good?
The people did the talking good, and I think that the location was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And the actors got paid, hopefully, an appropriate amount. That is it. That is as non-spoiler as they possibly. Okay, this movie has a title and a movie poster.
Wow.
Again, everything that I have in my brain to say is a spoiler. I didn't fully really take some notes on some non-spoiler stuff.
That's fine.
So, yeah,
give us your rating, and then we'll move on to the
more just being a goober about
so you can
it.
say something about it.
Okay, this movie. What the heck? I don't even know what the heck I want to rate this movie. Let's say this, okay? Let's say this. Let's go to our handy dandy barometer here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that this movie is a 3.0 out of 5. This movie is solidly average.
Oh.
It's not below.
I was expecting a lot lower than that, the way you're talking about it.
I know. It's not solidly average. I think for me describes this movie well because it was not the worst movie. That was Presence. It wasn't the worst movie. It wasn't the worst movie, but it wasn't it was neither good or bad. It just was. It wasn't totally mid. I guess it might have been totally mid. What am I trying to say? I'm all over the place. I'm going to give it a 3. 3 out of 5 is my final score. Yeah, we can move on to spoiler stuff.
All right.
This is the worst non-spoiler review of any movie ever.
Well, I understand why, based on the nature of the movie.
Yeah,
it's hard to say with what's going on without giving it away.
Yes.
So the reason I assigned this one to you is because you loved Fresh so much.
I did love,
and there's no way you can possibly say that this is not a horror movie if you think Fresh is a horror movie.
I didn't say that Fresh was a horror movie.
Well, what? You didn't?
Listen, okay, they pulled the head out of that pot. Yeah, it was clearly a horror. There were some horrific things. They cut up some bodies, but you never really see it. That's the crazy thing, is that you never, besides the fact that he cut that guy with the chainsaw, which,
well, it's not
was the
gory.
and he got sprayed with blood. I'm like, eating people
gore,
does not make it a horror movie.
How does it not?
I don't know. It just doesn't, Steve. Leave me alone.
You'll know it when you see it.
Gosh, dude, you're like, quit freaking making me justify all this stuff. Just take them over.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Excuse me for being like wanting to be intellectually honest.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Well, we have to have content to talk about. Yeah, so
Go ahead.
This movie, okay. I don't think. Okay, this is a wild statement. I don't think the main actor of this movie is a good actor. Okay. The last movie I saw this guy in was like Terminator 3.
Nick Stahl. Huh?
He was in a Terminator movie where he played John Connor. He was one of the 17,000 John Connor in the Terminator universe.
He was young in Terminator 3. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Terminator 3 was a fine movie. That's a hill to die on. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger's carrying around a casket in that movie filled with ammunition, and he's also got like a turret gun and he's blowing people away. That's hilarious. Okay.
I'm with you on that. He's not the best actor.
He was not the best actor. I think that there could have been some other choices. It's fine. Whatever. Budget. I understand. But it felt like all he did was just stare at other people the entire time. Like, are you kidding? Like his face was.
He did a lot of staring. You're right.
His face constantly had one look on it, and that was, "Are you kidding me?"
Like he's crapping his pants all the time, and I would be too, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending of this movie where he just is incredibly reluctant to assume this position. He goes to this guy's house. Okay. Don't know how he got an invite. I have no clue. Maybe I just blanked out.
They briefly mentioned it.
He goes down, he sees his buddy. They may or may not have been in the army together or the military together. I'm not too sure, whatever. They're both chefs. And his friend is a fancy chef, cooks for some big clients.
Yeah, they met in like culinary school.
And yeah. Okay, so not the military. They met in culinary school, whatever. Right. They're both giving ex-military vibes.
Well, they are. Yeah.
They're both giving ex-military vibes.
They kind of are. You're right.
Is what I got, because it's like his friend. Every time the main character, oh my gosh, dude. Okay, the main character's name is Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's friend is named Jack. Jack is the guy who is cooking for a bunch of rich people.
Right.
Every time Ryan wants to find out from Jack what he does, Jack always beats around the bush.
Right.
Now, that's not a euphemism for anything, because they just said Jack beats around the bush. And I'm a child, but whatever. Dude, Steve, shut up, dude. Whatever, bro. I'm an adolescent child.
Okay.
Gosh. Anyway, gotta have fun. You gotta make yourself laugh. No one else is gonna. Anyway, so, every time he asks, Jack is very, very, very vague. He's like, yeah, I make a lot of money.
Right.
Okay. So how much? Like how much is one of these dinners? Oh, you know.
Like 300
No,
grand.
I don't know. No,
He
I don't
he
know,
doesn't tell
Jack.
him. Yeah.
Like what do you do? I cook. I cook for rich people. And he's like, well, that must be nice. And he's like, it's not that nice. Like he's very, and so it leads you to believe like he has seen some real stuff.
Right.
And that's why I get the ex-military vibe, is because it's like they want to talk about Vietnam. He's asking him about freaking Vietnam, and he's like,
some things.
exactly. Like Jack don't want to talk about it. Like what could possibly have Jack seen that would make this bad? Also, they keep talking about going to get the produce, and I keep thinking, like a normal person, carrots and celery and garlic and onions.
That's what produce is.
And produce, you know what I mean? No, produce is real people, and it's humans. It's humans, and I'm like, well, that's a very different definition down here in Latin America. Maybe it's cultural. Nope, it's just freaking the rich get to define the like whatever. So here is a breakdown. These are literal notes that I wrote down during this movie. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share with you my thoughts. Ryan arrives in Mexico. I don't know that it's Mexico. It is a Latin American country.
South of the border.
It is south of the border, but who knows where it actually is. I don't know. I wrote down Mexico because that just made sense in my mind. Could be Venezuela. I don't know. He goes to a house where he finds Jack is a chef for rich people. This person named Rabbit in Ryan's phone wants to get in touch with Ryan, but Ryan keeps avoiding them. So now we're like, oh, some shady stuff is kind of, Ryan is maybe escaping from some stuff, whatever. You do find that out. He's got some gambling problems. He's basically pissed all of his money away, and he is trying to escape.
He has some debts.
Ryan or Rabbit then goes, hey, I'm going to kill your mom if you don't give me $50,000. So now he has to figure some stuff out. He does technically break into Jack's computer to find out how much Jack makes on these cooking gigs. Because Jack isn't giving any information up. This completely random girl appears, and she makes them cook for her because, why not? They have like a chef cook-off.
They met like at a bar or whatever.
Yep, they make some risotto, and turns out that Ryan is a better chef than Jack. Blah blah blah, whatever. Jack then hangs himself because why wouldn't you? It seemed completely random at the time, but because they're having a good time. Like Jack and Ryan both are just having a good time. Man, it's really good to see you. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I really needed this. You remind me of home. Like blah, blah, all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, like the freaking next scene is Ryan wakes up and he goes over to Jack's room, and Jack's hung himself.
Mm-hmm.
And does Ryan cry over that? Nope, not even a little bit. He doesn't even cry. He literally takes down his body, ties kettlebells to it, and drags it and puts it in the lake. And I'm like, time out. No, that's not an appropriate response.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand this action. And this is why I also think that both Jack and Ryan were ex-military, because it's very just, oh, he's dead, let's move on. And instead of leaving the villa, because he just assumed the rich people the organization that books all of this arrives.
Well, he did it because he wanted to take his spot. He's like, now I can have his job. I can pretend to be him. I get the money.
I understand that. This is where the review cracks me up, because the review, or the synopsis for this movie goes, envy turns to greed and then something deeper. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. You would never pick that up from the acting of this movie, because Ryan is not a good actor. He doesn't convey envy.
I picked it up.
Okay, well, were you also on psychedelics? I don't understand what is going on. Am I just a bad movie reviewer? I must be a bad movie reviewer. I'm not picking up on. I'm getting too caught up in the weeds that I missed.
I will completely admit it was very subtle, and I like I said, I honestly am very good at like filling in gaps where I probably shouldn't. So I end up giving movies like more stars than they're worth probably sometimes, which is why I've not been doing reviews right when I watch the movie, because I'm always like, yeah, it's a great movie, and then I go home and I think about it. I'm like, So
yeah, and
I think I think you're a good movie reviewer.
I don't. Okay,
you're a good movie reviewer. You're a bad movie watcher.
That's probably true. The problem that I have is that I would just assume. So Jack and Ryan are buddies, but they don't seem like they're buddies.
They haven't talked to each other in like 15 years, they said.
But do they know how to talk to another human being? Did M. Night Shyamalan write this? Like nobody really seemed to talk normally in this movie, and so also Ryan, bro, Ryan is so. It's so clear that Ryan is not Jack. I don't know how stupid this organization is. I literally wrote down at one point. Let me find it here.
You do have a point there. Because I was thinking that the whole time, how can they have this organization that's so secret, multinational, that's like everything is built on secrecy?
Yeah,
and they don't have a photo of their chef that cooks people.
That's what I freaking wrote down. I said, it's pretty freaking clear that Ryan is not Jack. Why wouldn't this organization keep detailed records of their chefs and know what they look like? So, because the lady arrives, the organizer arrives. Jack likes to arrive at the villa, at the location, a couple days beforehand, so he can get a feel for everything, get settled, make up the menu, and then go from there, right?
And find some people.
And basically, he wants to find some people, right? Then I think a day before or 2 days before the dinner, the organization arrives. I don't know what her name is, but she is the organizer of these little
Imogene
dinners. And she's like, "Are you Jack?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Time out. Why are you asking? Why are you asking if this guy's Jack?" And then it's so clear that he doesn't know what's going on. He didn't know what produce was. He didn't know what these definitions were. He didn't know what he was cooking. He didn't know any of this secret organization Illuminati stuff. Like, he didn't know any of it. And she's having to explain the whole thing to him. And I'm like, what?
I think I did get the vibe that at some point she figured she knew what was going on, but she's like, I gotta move through with this. You know, I gotta do what I can because people are coming and it's a lot of money.
That is a wild assumption.
Yeah.
I just assumed
Same with
that I just assumed that because it seems crazy to me. At some point, he goes through this whole catastrophic night. And then I think at the end, she basically finds out that he's not and is like, you can have this job if you want.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally.
Because there's no, she explains to him over eggs. I think they were having eggs at the end of the movie.
Yep.
And he doesn't want to eat because, he's cut up half a dozen people or whatever. And he doesn't want to eat. He's had to make, sake souffle with, somebody's tongue. You know what I mean? And so he don't want to eat eggs. He don't want to have anything he don't want to cook anymore. But she's like, she basically says something to the effect of there's no escape. Like once you're in this, you're in this. There is no escape. And it makes there was also a line that made me feel like they also at the end of the chef's run, they eat the chef. Like that's the way that's
they did with one person. Yeah.
And so, you
can't quit.
I wrote down. One of the guests keeps asking so we're back to my notes here.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan basically steals Jack's identity, calls the bank and is like, "Hey, I had a head injury and I don't know my passwords anymore." And I'm like, "Timeout." What friggin' bank? Like I got caught up in that. It was bad.
That was bad. Yeah.
Because they're like, "Well, if you just show up, we'll be fine." With a photo ID. So now he's got to manufacture this photo ID, whatever. One of the guests keeps asking if the produce or about the produce and if it's fresh. And this movie is clearly about rich people eating other people, which is very original. That's what I wrote down because it's not. This is not an original idea. I said the first 30 minutes is a 1 out of 5. Terrible. That's what I wrote down. Like, then there is this monologue that was so atrocious. I paused and started the movie because I had to write it down verbatim. Okay. Because
who says it?
It's whatever the organizer lady's name is. Emma Jean. Ryan pretending to be Jack comes out of his room and whatever. He's snooping around because that's what he does. And he's like, "Oh, I'm really thirsty." And she gives him some water. And then she goes on this he didn't ask. He's just standing there awkwardly because that's the only direction this guy ever got in this movie. Is just stand there with your face hanging out. And she then explains what this organization is. And
he should have known.
Technically, he's been cooking for them for a while. He should have known. And they drop hints like this that make me think that this entire time they knew.
Yeah, they may have.
That it was not Jack. She goes, "Do you know how?" And also, it's this wild justification here. She goes, "Here's the monologue. Do you know how much our guests pay to dine with us? $1.5 million. That might seem like a lot, but when you factor in the private jets to take our clients to and from the event, the risk that we incur, the fabulous location, and the limited amount per dinner, well, it isn't really. We kill on average 50 people a year, plus 25 in the cleanup, so 75 deaths a year, and we generate over $100 million. We funnel 10%, and at this point, I'm like, what are we talking about? What is this, a freaking living brochure? We funnel 10% of our profits back into the communities, the farming, the infrastructure. We ensure clean drinking water to the entire population. You might say that that's simply self-interest, we don't eat everybody. Like, not even 1%. Now, can you now tell me what company makes that amount of money, has global presence, assists more than 99% of the people in the communities in which they operate, and their footprint only has them kill 75 people a year. Oil companies kill 110 workers a year. Farmers are on about 250. If you're not bored out of your freaking mind listening to me read this, watch this movie and you'll end up like Jack. Groundskeepers, truck drivers, roofers, they all thrash us in fatalities. Like, and then she's like
justifying it, yeah.
She's justifying all of this stuff, but the monologue that she gave it felt like it was unnecessary to begin with. Yeah, I am not going to keep going because literally this movie, it does not sound anymore like I would give this movie 3 out of 5. I haven't even got to the fact that I haven't even got to like the tension of the movie, because there's more tension within this movie than I'm letting on.
Yeah,
because the other half of the tension comes the real tension because the first part of the tension is Jack dies, Ryan assumes his identity. The other tension is Ryan doesn't know that he has to kill a bunch of people and serve these rich people this human flesh. The third bit of tension comes when they go to try to find the produce. Him and Maurice go to try to find the produce. They start following these ladies out of mass.
Mm-hmm.
They lose the ladies, and they start stalking somebody else. They make like their car broke down. They get this other guy, get underneath the car, bang, bang, shoot him in the head. But these two ladies realize that they're being followed and go get a police officer. What Maurice and Ryan don't know, fake Jack don't know, is that the person that they killed is a police detective's nephew.
Right.
The police detective then gets involved and literally shows up at the compound where they're having the dinner and awkwardly chooses to stay because he knows something foul is going on. And, that's the other half of the tension. And that's when the movie really kind of starts to get a little bit more interesting, but it's not until like the end of Act 2, beginning of Act 3 that this movie really starts to pick up and it kind of becomes, and that redeemed the movie. The ending of the ending of this movie redeemed it. I still didn't understand because he's now got to pretend to be Jack
or die. Because
what's
put a
crazy?
Chip in his neck to track him.
Yeah, they put a chip in his neck, and I don't know, man. I don't know why he didn't just freaking dig it out and fly off to London. Like, come on, that was the other thing. Like, all of Ryan's decisions didn't make any sense. So Jack hangs himself. Why doesn't Ryan just bail? He knows that somebody's coming to this house. Jack told him that's going to happen. So how, like, now he's got to get rid of his buddy's body. Like, why put yourself in that particular position?
Because he didn't want his mom was going to get killed. So he thought, I'm going to get some cash. And he gets the cash to save his mom.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
it's just the end, because then he meets that dude at the airport bar. And he's like, my name is Jack. And I'm like, why are you telling this guy that your name is Jack? He doesn't work for the organization, buddy. You could be anybody.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, this movie's odd. It's not necessarily bad. It's not bad, but it's not good. I don't know why it has 80%. That eludes me.
I think the reason it has 80% is it's in my opinion, it's a legitimately a it's an anxiety filled horror ride. It's scary, or not scary. It's like it's that kind of the disturbing type of a scary movie, and and then there's like some like they make the detective eat part of his nephew, and they tell him about it.
Right, and then he fully throws up about it. Right. Yeah, what a wuss! Can't even keep it down. But also, I guess he did eat his nephew, because he takes that guy down in the basement and shows him his nephew's head.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. He fished his head out of like a gigantic. What the heck is going on?
So I mean, it's a thrill ride. It's lots of tension, like you said. Very anxiety ridden movie, and so it's the tension vibe of the whole thing. It's got a good flow, I think, but it's one of those things. If you just ignore all of the unlikelies,
if you have to shut your brain off to really, because if you start to really think about how nobody's acting normally,
right?
If you start to think about that, you're going to drive yourself nuts. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be done talking. It's too much. I can't. It was a decent movie. I enjoyed the ending of this movie. Once the tension really did start to build, I didn't really know what was going to happen. It was, or I shouldn't say that. It was very predictable what was going to happen. But by that point, the movie had just wrapped itself around me like a coiled snake and just started to squeeze the life out of me. And I just gave in. I just, succumbed to the darkness and chose to live life deliciously and just shut my brain off and fade into the darkness of this movie.
Yeah, maybe we should have called this whole podcast like the Shut Your Brain Off podcast.
Yeah.
Shut your brain off and you'll have more fun.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah. I feel bad that I've done nothing in this podcast in this particular episode, except for crap on everything. Like,
that's okay.
So like, I do want to just kind of shut up about it and move on. Let's move on to your movie.
All right. Let us do that, Zach.
Yeah.
And don't feel bad about being negative.
Yeah.
It happens,
I know. I am a happy person.
Yeah, sure.
I have things to look forward to. I just, it's just comical to me that
happens. Well, I'm going to talk about one of your favorite movies of all time.
Here we go.
Y2K.
This movie is the bomb. And that is an era appropriate reference.
The bomb. It's sick. It's rad.
It's definitely rad.
Rad a bunsicle, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so I watched Y2K from 2025.
Yeah.
The movie 25 years in the making.
Yeah.
And spoiler for review. Okay. I have thoughts about this movie, Zach.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, so I kind of did my own summary or a synopsis.
Okay.
Y2K is a cocaine-filled nostalgia trip about the switch over from the 1999 to 2000 in a universe where all of our fears come true. Technology comes to life and goes on a murdering spree and begins enslaving humanity. Our intrepid band of random teenagers fight back. Will they make it? Will they stop the onslaught? Will anyone use that condom by the end of the movie? No, they won't. Yes, they will.
Yes, they will. Yeah, I guess technically they will.
It stars the stars of the movie, and I absolutely love all three of these people. The Eli, he's what are their names? What are their actual names? Eli is played by Jaden Martell of he's in Knives Out, It, Chapter 1 and 2. He's in The Lodge. He's in a bunch of good flicks. Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Arcadian.
Yeah, he's the main character.
Yeah, he's the main character. And then Rachel Zegler, who is in the new Hunger Games movie, which I haven't seen. West Side Story, Shazam.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And Julian Dennison, whom I absolutely freaking love. This guy. He's in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
I first saw him in Hunt for the Wilder People. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a great movie. It's funny, heartwarming. It's not scary or anything. But he's also in let's see, Uproar. I saw Uproar, by the way, which is it's a drama. He stars in that, and it's fan-friggin-tastic. I give it 5 stars. Anyway, that's beside the point. But love this guy. He's a great young actor. But they're the main stars of the movie, and it's a fun movie. It's stupid, but it's fun.
It is stupid, but it's fun.
I love the nostalgia. It's like chock-a-block with nostalgia, and most of it was right on. Some of it, I'm like, I don't think they had that back then, but whatever, close enough. Because I'm old, Zach. I got married in 1998.
Here we go.
And so this was a year after, a couple years after I got married. So I remember this time in the world pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this before, but I worked at a company that my first job out of college was working at a company that was upgrading like state welfare computers, basically, in welfare offices around Oklahoma because of Y2K coming. Right. It was like on the horizon. And so don't go into this film expecting something without holes or a movie that is in any way Oscar worthy, but it's clearly a movie and it's poking fun at itself the whole time. And it's poking fun at it's fun. It's just a fun movie. That said, the storyline was very flaky in some places. They killed off a lot of people I did not want them to kill off.
For real.
And there's a surprise guest star that made absolutely no freaking sense.
Oh, come on. It made perfect sense.
None at all. It was stupid. Sorry.
Man, wow.
Limp Bizkit.
Come on, them dude. Are we in the spoiler-filled section yet?
No, not yet.
Well, then you just ruined it.
The ratings are 43% tomato reading, 50%, 52% audience rating, upturned bucket. So
come on, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about.
4.9 out of 10. IMDb. Letterboxd 2.6 out of 5. So everybody pretty much agrees this movie is mid.
This movie is worth the popcorn bucket.
What would the popcorn bucket be?
Okay, that's a great question. The popcorn bucket for this movie could possibly be. It is a colored iMac.
Dude, right here.
It's a colored iMac that is hollow that you eat. Yeah. And it has like an AOL AIM screen on it.
Yeah, with a naked lady on it.
Well, partially because it has to be loading, right?
Oh, there's Nip.
It's right here. It stops right here.
I laughed so hard. It's not a spoiler, but like as they're downloading this like one porn image like really slow or dial up.
It's the small little nuggets.
Yeah.
It's the small little nuggets of nostalgia along the way. It's the fact that they got a CD player on, like a portable CD player on top of their dash.
On their dash,
with an 1/8-inch jack connected to a tape. Man, I love that so much.
I would watch this movie again just for the nostalgia.
Well, I like the story. It was fun. It was this entire movie was so stupid and fun.
It was stupid and fun.
Yeah,
I will admit that.
Yeah,
and like the video store with like the back room that was like the porn section.
Yeah, but nobody uses it, so they smoke weed in the back. Right. Yeah,
and I remember as a kid, I was like, "Oops, I randomly wandered into the porn section."
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Then I was always bummed out that it was like it's just nothing really on the covers. You couldn't see anything.
Yeah, hilarious. It was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I didn't rate this, did I? Shoot. I would give this 3.5.
3.5.
Stars. Yeah.
No popcorn bucket for you, huh?
Well, it's so dumb. I mean, I can't give it more than 3.5. Sorry.
I guess I technically did give it 3.5.
Oh yeah, you did.
I must have rated it. What's 3.5 on our score again?
It is
Worth another watch.
Yeah, it's worth another watch. I will say that.
Yeah, it's worth another watch.
Yep.
But I would still, even at worth another watch, I would buy the popcorn bucket for this movie, but only if it was a
nostalgic.
Yeah, if it was
IMAX.
that, it has to be that.
Yeah. So that's my spoiler-free review. It's fun. It's kind of stupid. Great nostalgia. The kids actors are great.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Danny, the Julian Dennison, from New Zealand, he is a joy to be. Everything he's in is really great. And I will say this. I love how in all the movies he's in, his size is not a big. It's not what it's all about. You know, he's like unabashedly himself and just having fun, being a joyful person in this movie. Nobody comments about how he's a large kid, you know?
Yeah.
Which was really cool. I like that about that. Anyway. So, yeah, let me move on to a little bit of breakdown and get into a little spoiler action. So I'm not going to go absolutely completely detailed on this, but I'll kind of give you the high points. So again, movie starts out with an AOL dial-up box, like the 3 boxes, and you've got mail.
Yeah.
By the way, the guy who says you got mail, he died a couple months ago.
I don't know. I think he's also from Cleveland, so.
Well, then like that matters.
Wow. Unbelievable.
And anyway, he's on our main character, Eli, is on chatting with a couple friends online, Danny and Laura, and he gets ready to head out. And again, he's heading out to a New Year's Eve party, 1999, and I love like the little things like the mom and dad, which by the way are seriously cringy. Like the mom's going on about the your first kiss or midnight.
You know that's Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah,
right?
it's Alicia Silverstone. Yeah.
Also, you got mail guy, not even remotely close to Cleveland, so it's fine. Whatever. I was just throwing in random fake Cleveland facts. I was just trying to see if you guys would catch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll be nice.
Okay. Wow. I appreciate your niceness.
The dad has a Palm Pilot, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
I had multiple Palm Pilots. It was like I've always been like the early adopter guy.
Yeah.
Loved the Palm Pilot. And I still miss my Palm Pilot because it worked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take any battery at all. And I love the pen. Like I can still do the little writing thing.
Yeah.
Like the text. I can still do
so
it.
Here's the thing. When I first met Brad,
Palm
Pilot. Dude had a Palm Pilot. I will never forget that. Because I was like, wow, it's such a 90s thing. And I think he loved it. He loved that thing.
I love mine. Yeah.
I think his current phone has a stylus.
Oh,
like
really?
It's one of those Motorola or Samsung phones that has a stylus inside the phone. You can just press it and it pops out, and you can. But it's very Palm Pilot-esque.
Yeah.
You know,
loved it. Yeah. But and like as he's riding his bike down the road, and the songs are great, very nostalgic. Like there's some people in the front yard doing the Macarena, which I'm like,
yeah,
okay, nobody does the Macarena in the front yard for one, but
it's definitely a backyard or basement thing. Okay,
right, exactly. Yeah, you don't do that in public.
You're not doing that in public.
But he goes over to Danny's house, and Danny's just he's like I said, he's a fantastic character, and they're typical teenage boys. They just cannot stop talking about sex and wanting to have sex and acting like they have had sex when they clearly haven't.
Yeah.
And they've got this like one old like condom that they found someplace in a book. It's like one condom between them. They're like, somebody's going to use this tonight, bro. And like I said, the video store is great, and the dude who is in charge of the video store, like the cashier guy, he's so funny. He's like so on weed, and he's got that shirt that's like made out of a Mexican blanket that everybody had.
That's the director and writer of this movie. Do you know that?
No way.
That's Kyle Mooney. That's Kyle Mooney.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I think he like at least he directed the movie. I know that, but he also, I think he's the writer of this movie.
He is. Yes, you're right. I just checked that. Wow.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of stuff like Zoolander and Zoolander 2, and at least cool. Yeah.
His character is genuinely, it's one of the funniest.
His character is just stupid funny.
He's just stupid. Yeah.
And they rent Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. That movie is so funny. Probably does not hold up, but
is it Twins, or is it the one where Arnold gets pregnant?
That's Twins. Wait, no, I'm sorry, not Twins. Shoot, what was that? That's not the same one, is it?
It's not the same one, because that's when they're brothers. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger are brothers and twins.
Right.
What is the movie with Arnold getting pregnant?
Junior.
That movie is ahead of its time. Let me tell you right now.
1994. Junior.
That movie is ahead of its time.
Well, kind of.
Well, I haven't seen it I haven't seen it probably since 95. Let's be honest with us.
Right?
Like, I have not seen that movie. I saw the movie once and went, "Oh my gosh!"
I wonder if it's problematic now. But anyway, so they're watching a Junior. You're right. Also in the meantime, they go to buy a convenience store, come across some other kids, and that's where Laura is introduced, and you find out Laura is, Eli has a major crush on her, and she's apparently a really brilliant like coder programmer, and they're sitting at home watching. They get home, they're sitting at home watching Junior, and they realize that they're being big losers.
Yep.
And so they're gonna go crash this party that they heard about, and so they head on to the very stereotypical high school party,
right?
Where turns out there's Danny's kind of like the life of the party. He's playing this song about thong thong thong.
Dude, Cisco.
Yeah, who?
Cisco is the artist. Okay,
I'm sorry. I was busy listening to like the
Stephen Curtis
trio and Dean Martin and the oldies.
Okay, Cisco is the artist, and the thong song is his number one hit. I think it might have been his only hit. I can't name one other Cisco song.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody else can.
And right at the stroke of midnight, everybody gets a kiss except Eli. Poor Eli. And but then the lights flash and things are weird. And this is where the movie picks up. It really gets stupid, but pretty in a fun way. And I recommend at this point, well, actually take a gummy before you start the movie, so it hits about this point.
That's true. I never thought about this movie would be so much better if you were high. Wow. I might have to do that.
One of the kids they hear something happening, and one of the kids, they go upstairs, and this couple was on one of those Tempur-Pedic beds that automatically bends and stuff. And the bed had gone crazy and thrown him up in the air, and he got a ceiling fan blade in the head. Which
is not plausible. It's not possible for that to happen. I remember the kid
being warned, my aunt and uncle were like, "Do not, you cut your head off," and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, ceiling blade through the skull, and somehow all of the electronics in the house or on the planet or whatever have become sentient.
Yeah.
Not only have they become sentient, but they've somehow quickly taped themselves together. And they're all these little robots going around and machines running around the house.
Yeah. There's one that is led by a Tamagotchi.
Right.
Like the Tamagotchi is the brain. It's like riding a vacuum. Like what's happening?
And at this point, I want to say, I think you should go watch this, so I don't give it all away. But essentially what happens is all tech, no matter how small, like the Tamagotchi, ends up being infected by some kind of evil AI. And this is not really explained.
Nope.
Whatever.
We don't know if it's, I don't know if it's alien.
Right.
I don't know.
And I think the explanation would ruin it. But basically, almost every character that you see is killed off some way. The first one that you see happening is like it burns a kid's face off with a can of hairspray and a lighter.
Right.
A hair trimmer somehow gouges a kid's face off.
Come on.
Girl gets knocked on the floor by a VHS tape flying across the room.
Yeah. And
then the dumbest one. This girl gets her head drilled into by a little inexplicable robot that's like 10 inches high that anybody could just like casually grab onto or like tip on its side.
Yeah. This is my problem with Chucky. Kick that little honky and run. Why are you, if you get killed by Chucky, you deserve to die. Punt that doll across the room
100%.
And get in your car and drive away. So the fact that these kids are being picked off by freaking Tamagotchis is genuinely hilarious to me. It's not, but they all deserve to die because I'm like, you could very easily just move that thing away.
Right.
But
until
you
it
choose
comes to the big giant mech things that develop.
Yeah. You just duck. The VHS, the VHS player shoots a video. Just duck. You don't have to.
Well, and the kid that, one of the funniest ones is he's the jerk kid, like Soccer Steve or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Soccer John or what, he's walking through the kitchen and the dishwasher opens itself. He trips on that. His head goes into the microwave and it immediately cooks his brain in like a second.
Yeah. Like, as microwaves are known to do.
But then there's one of these big mechs who made out of random stuff that kills Danny. What the heck, man? You don't kill Danny?
Yeah, you do.
Then with his dying breath, move the
story forward. You got to kill him.
With his dying breath, he hands Eli the condom.
Yeah.
Hope one of us can use this tonight, bro.
He's still thinking about using it. He's bleeding out, and he's like, "I can't use this, but you still can't."
Right.
Like, and then he's like, "Ah," and he dies. Like, that's it. That's his final request is don't just use this, buddy.
Right. So the bots are also start turning people into cyber slaves somehow.
Yeah.
By like sticking a chip in their temples, and their parents get caught too.
Oh no!
And so Eli and Laura and some other random people they come across. And there's the dude, the bully skater guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
From Stranger Things. He his death is the funniest one of the whole freaking show. Because it has nothing to do with the Y2K. nothing to do with it. He just sees like this pipe on the ground. He tries to do like a skate thing across it, and he falls down and cracks his head open and dies.
That's it. That's his only. He hits the back of his head off the concrete. Yeah. And you're like, what?
It happened so fast.
It happened. He's like, "Oh, guys, watch this." And then that's the end of him.
Click.
It's over.
And then, so then they come across, and this is the dumb part. They come across Fred Durst. I had to look up who this guy was.
No, you didn't.
I did. I'm like, who the heck is Fred Durst?
Steve.
What? Did you know who Fred Durst was?
I 100% knew who Fred Durst was. What
Limp
are you talking
Bizkit
about?
was the music that weirdo people listen to, I guess. I don't know.
How dare you?
I can't name a single Limp Bizkit song.
You what? Okay.
I mean, I'm
gonna need 15 minutes of uninterrupted silence from you because I can't. I'm shunning you for 15 minutes.
They come across Limp Bizkit dude, whatever. I did not understand the storyline or his purpose in the movie other than to distract them by not a Limp Bizkit song. What the heck? He's singing a George Michael song.
Okay.
Why didn't they take that opportunity?
Okay. I don't have enough time. We're already at 2 minutes and 1 minute of this, or 2 hours and 1 minute of this podcast.
But I'm trying to go fast. Yeah.
There's no time to explain to you. Okay. Woodstock 1999 was the thing. Okay.
Okay.
It was an atrocious act because it was the Fire Festival, basically, of 1999.
Right. Did not go well.
It did not go well. Limp Bizkit, these are the people are already dehydrated. They're already in miserable conditions and all of this kind of stuff. And they're also a bunch of Gen Xers who don't give a F about nothing, right? Because anti-establishment and let's freaking go, right? Limp comes on, and Fred
Durst.
Yes. Sings one of his songs. I believe the song is called Break Stuff.
Okay.
Why am I blanking on this name? Yes, it's called Break Stuff. Okay. He basically encourages everybody to do a giant mosh pit, and they actually physically start tearing the actual construction of Woodstock down.
Wow.
Lighting fires, and because they're not being taken care of. There's a whole documentary about it. It's actually really good. And so a lot of Fred, I think hit the plot point of Fred being there is we were about to do this thing, Woodstock 99, and then crap hit the fan. And so we couldn't do it. So I'm on stage and all of this stuff is happening. And now I don't know the proximity I don't know why he's there specifically. Like, I don't know the proximity of the location of the movie and Woodstock 99. That is odd to me, but it's not out of place.
Okay.
It's not out of place. And I'm also positive that there's a reference to him singing Faith by George Michael, like in one of his songs. So it's not also out of place. It's just you're being old man about it. And also, how am I explaining this to you when I was 12 years old in 1999. I was 12. You were married.
I was in a different
I know. That's why I said, were you listening to Stephen Curtis Chapman? Is because I know that you were deep
because
in all
he
of
had
that.
instruments in his music.
Oh gosh. But Dean Martin was fine. Okay, shut up, buddy. Okay, we're done. Now I'm done with you. No, I don't have any time for this Christian justification.
Made any sense. Anyway, so Fred Durst comes along. They go to the school because the school has internet and like high speed internet, like a DSL. And Fred Durst distracts the robots by singing Faith by George Michael, and not even very well. And then Laura she's figured out in the meantime, because she's a computer genius, how to get it all to stop. So she writes a virus in like 0 time, again, to suspend reality. They get to the fast internet at school and to upload the virus. She tries to use the USB drive to install, which I do not remember anybody having a USB drive in 1998, but that's beside the point. 1999, whatever. But she tries to get it installed on the computer, but the computer is, sentient now, and it fights back with shocking her. So enter the condom.
Right.
She puts the condom on her hand, or Eli puts it on her hand. First of all, he's like, hey, I got an idea. He pulls out the condom. She's like, not right now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why? Puts it on her hand, and she and of course it works. She puts it in there. It destroys the AI. The parents are released, and he gets the girl. They kiss or whatever. And then they flash forward 5 years, where Eli and Laura, clearly still together, go to visit Danny's grave. It's after they're out of college and everything. And they say, miss you, buddy, and all that kind of stuff. And as the movie closes out, and they focus in on this old school iPod that the gal has in the front seat, and the AI robot's evil face shows up on the robot on the screen. So it's maybe not quite all over. But,
by the way, Limp Bizkit covered George Michael's Faith.
Okay.
So it's not out of place. I'm telling you, everything is there specifically for a reason.
All right. I see. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's right there in Spotify.
Right there.
Well, anyway.
What did you rate this movie?
3.5.
3.5.
Fun movie. I would probably watch it again just for the nostalgia bits of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I thought it was fun. Did I say it was fun? It's fun.
You said it was fun. Yeah. You said it enough that makes me believe it's not fun.
No, it really was. It was fun, but not great. But I'll 3.5 stars because it was fun. Because it's fun. So
it's definitely fun.
Let's pick our movies for next time, Zach.
Let's rock.
I'm going to go first this time.
Hit it.
You can blame this one on the randomness generator of the shuffle button.
Okay. Which
I'm sorry.
you totally have control over, so I will inevitably blame you for it.
Right. Well, this was on the list, which is my fault, but I hit shuffle, and this one was at the top, and I thought it was pretty fun. So
here we go.
We're going with it. Are you sitting down?
I'm ready to
ready for this.
Here we go. Let's go.
It's a 2019 classic.
Ooh.
Directed by Tyler Cornack.
Okay.
Starring Tyler Rice.
I have no clue who
Tyler Cornack
are.
Neither do I. Butt Boy.
Stop. Is that 2 words?
Butt Boy. 2 words. You've never seen a movie like it. Hopefully you never will again. But it's got 3.0 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so.
Steve, I can't be any more disappointed in you. I can't be. I just read the synopsis for this movie.
Okay.
And I want this to be this is our last episode, everyone. I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. That's how much I don't want to talk to you again.
my review says the most unhinged yet legitimately good thing I've seen in a long time.
I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. Okay.
I've been sitting on that movie for a long time, man. That one and Uncle Peckerhead.
Okay, well, I don't know how. I don't even know how to exist after this. I don't know. I don't know how to exist.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Where can I watch said movie?
You may watch it on Prime, I believe.
I don't want to Google this movie because I feel like the algorithm is going to know, and I'm going to get the NSA come at my
Prime, Freevee, Tubi.
Also, it's called Butt Boy.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to Google this safely without?
Don't Google it. Just go to Prime.
I need to find out where to watch the movie, Steve.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Prime, Freevee, Tubi.
So it's on Prime. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's interesting to me, Steve, how the beginning of this podcast started out. Us talking about werewolves and the movie Wolfman, because the movie directly underneath your assigned movies for Y2K is the 2024 classic Werewolves. Werewolves. Directed by Stephen C. Miller and starring Frank Grillo and La Bamba. La Bamba's in this movie.
Phillips. Okay.
Yes, Lou Diamond Phillips is in this movie. Also, when I saw Lou Diamond Phillips in this movie, I went, dude, that dude's still alive? Like, whoa, the guy's still alive? Yes. I've just was thinking the entire time we're talking about werewolves. I'm like, I think I assigned Steve the movie called Werewolves that I just watched recently. So you have it on your want to watch list,
right?
And now you get the pleasure of watching this movie.
Excited. I will point out that this one has a 2.2 on Letterboxd, and the one I assigned you has 3.0. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Listen, I can tell you confidently, I would rather watch Werewolves again than ever in my lifetime watch a movie called Butt Boy. I don't know that I'm going to watch this movie, and that opinion won't change. I will guarantee you. So join us next time when I completely rip this movie to shreds, because who the heck wouldn't?
Oh, boy. All right.
Wow.
Well, thank you for making it through with me.
Yes. Enjoy your week, and actually a couple days, and then we'll record again. But that's behind the curtain. Anyway, little BTS there. It's a Wednesday. And we record on Saturday. So I'll see you in 3 days.
Okay.
And then we'll do this all over again.
Well, yeah. At least you don't have to think about Butt Boy for very long.
I will have, yeah, you're right, tonight, and then I have to watch it tomorrow because we have to record on Saturday.
Well, you got 2 days, you know?
Oh my gosh. You're going to ruin my PTO. Here we go. Okay.
I'll see you later.
All right, man.
Bye.
All right, listeners, that's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is at horrorsyetonunseenpod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.